are now unmuted.
Hello. Okay, so pakisabi na lang pag hindi nyo ako naririnig ah. Okay, so with respect to yung sinabmit nyo na initial proposal ay mayroong mga comments doon. So most of the problems is that you have your title but you cannot make your objective. Also, another one is some of the titles are super idealistic. Isipin nyo, one sem lang nyo lang gagawin yan some of the studies are hindi nyo alam talaga paano nyo i-relate yung objectives nyo with respect sa kung anong gusto nyo gawin. And then, my main concern is that marami sa inyo yung walang general objective. So, I think I uploaded the notes. So, nandun naman kung paano yung general objective as compared to your specific objectives. Okay? So, from our last lecture noon pa, I presented yung chapter 1. So, please do not wait. Nasasabihin ko na gawin nyo yung gawin nyo ito since this is already your thesis. I expect na ginagawa nyo na yung other parts of your study. Okay? So, if I will go here, if I will go to your chapter 1 composition, as much as possible, natatapos nyo na yung mga ito. Kaya nga hindi tayo nagle-lecture kasi ito yung ginagawa nyo dapat. Pero kung hinihintay nyo lang talaga, wala na tayong magagawa dyan. Yung mga wala talagang sinasubmit, I'm sorry, but yung iba, sinecheck ko naman yung mga submitted via email, yung iba is wala talagang sinasubmit. Do not expect na magiging group work ito, hihintayin mo yung ka-group mo. Hindi, this is individual. Okay? So, for your next submission, which is next week Wednesday, sabihin ko na, your submission by next week Wednesday is yung concrete background of the study at saka yung conceptual and theoretical framework. Okay? So, may in-upload ako dyan. In your modules, in-upload ko dyan yung chapter 1 and chapter 2, which is, yun na mismo yung format natin. This is the format of the school, I'm sorry, but I think this is the old one. So, kung titignan nyo, palitan ko lang So, if you try to check, ito yung chapter 1 natin. Kung hindi mo alam kung ano yung susulat mo dito, basahin mo lang kung ano yung nandito. Yun na rin yung nasa lecture natin. Okay? So, also, dito, if you look at your theoretical and conceptual framework, naka-separate sila. So, uunahin mo pa rin yung conceptual, after which, ilagay mo yung conceptual. So, ang isa-submit nyo sa akin by next meeting is itong format na ito hanggang sa conceptual at saka theoretical framework. Okay? So, since nagawa nyo na rin na pala yung objectives, pakidagdag na lang yung objectives para ma-check ko kung mayroon talaga kayong general objectives or not. Kung makikita mo sa comment section, I think isa lang ata yung maganda yung ginawa yung acceptable na study, kaya lang medyo masyadong broad siya. Yung iba is paulit-ulit na lang, pero you have to make it in such, hindi ko sinasabi na palitan nyo ang sinasabi ko is you make it unique, iba siya as compared sa mga nagagawa na study. Yung mga maraming flooding studies, that is very procedural. Okay? Magbasa lang kayo ng RRL, maayos niyo yung objective niyo. Kung hindi kayo talaga magbabasa, hindi related yung ipapakita nyo na objectives dun sa title nyo. Also, with respect sa mga studies that is concerning yung water distribution, etc. Yung mga earthquake studies, tignan nyo naman yung mga sinasubmit nyo since yung isang objective pa lang is buong study na yun. Okay? Dapat kasi meron kayong general objective kung ano yung talagang gusto nyong i-attain doon sa study, then i-break down nyo lang kung ano yung general objective sa mga specific questions. Like for example, yung ginawa ko nga na example, your general objective is what is the resultant reaction. Yung specific objective 1 is what is your Rx. Yung specific objective 2, what is your Ry. So pag na-solve mo yung dalawang yun, na-answeran mo yung general objective. Pero kung wala kang general objective, anong i-check ko sa paper mo? Alangan na i-check ko yung specific objective, hindi mo nga naman talaga alam ang ginagawa mo. Okay? So, yung mga hindi nagsasabit, I'm sorry pag wala kayong scores. But kung iniintay nyo na may topic na magiging group work, I'm repeating it again, hindi. Okay? So anyway, this is due on Wednesday. You have your background, theoretical and conceptual, and your objectives. Since nagawa nyo naman na, kasi meron kayong significance of the study, meron nga sa inyo, nilagay na nila yung background dun sa pinagawa ko last meeting, which is very good. And you already have your objectives. Paki-check na lang yung objectives and paki-check yung format natin. Okay? So, your theoretical and conceptual is very important since kapag hindi nyo talaga ma-present ito ng maayos, I cannot check yung after this one. Kasi this will represent your whole study. Okay? So, your theoretical and conceptual, especially your research paradigm. Okay? Yung input, process, output natin. Maraming research paradigms pero yung present ko lang is yung input, process, output kasi yun talaga yung ginagamit natin sa engineering. Kung hindi mo alam kung ano yung ilalagay mo sa input, kung hindi mo alam yung process, most likely, hindi mo alam kung ano yung gagawin mo sa study mo. Okay? So, let's now go to your second chapter, which is... wala ba siya? Which is this one. Okay, so tapos na tayo dyan sa chapter 1. Let's now go to your second chapter, which is eto siya. Okay, so design and methodology. So your second chapter is, this consists of the following. You have your research design and methodology, population and locale of the study, data gathering tool, data gathering procedure, and then your treatment of data. Okay? So, if you finish your English 7 or English 4E ata yun, hindi problema yung thesis format natin kasi na-introduce naman talaga dun sa English 4 natin. Pero pag hindi mo pa tapos, hindi ko alam kung bakit nandito ka. Okay? So, pakisabi na lang pag hindi nyo nakikita or pag hindi nyo naririnig. Okay? So, parang inuulit lang natin yung English 4 nyo in a way na thesis na tayo ngayon. Okay? So, kahit thesis yung ginawa nyo nun. So, sa engineering, sabihin ko lang marami tayong research design and methodology. But in engineering, meron tayong 4 na main research design and methodology. Okay? So, eto, dito sa part ng research design and methodology, i-introduce mo lang kung ano yung ginawa mo sa study. Sabihin mo lang doon, the study is a descriptive or study in such a way that blah 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 blah. The study is historical study kasi ang ginawa namin is kinuha namin yung history ng PNR railways hanggang sa nakuha namin yung buong data. Okay? So this is the type of the study. So you have your historical method from the word itself, history. You are getting your data or some of your or yung main data sets mo is from historical data. So ito, this is not a first-hand data. Pag sinabi ko na secondary data, most likely yung study mo is hihingin mo lang. Hindi na yung thesis pag ganun yung study mo. So next is your descriptive survey. This is nagdi-describe ka lang. Let's say for example, yung mga water distribution na studies, kailangan mong malaman yung PCWC or yung consumption ng bawat household. So ang gagawin mo is gagawa ka ng survey. So ang gagawin mo ngayon is dun sa survey mo is tatanungin mo ilang liters ang ginagamit nyo na tubig. So from there, maglalagay ka ng choices Mas maganda pag maglagay kayo ng choices sa mga survey nyo, ha. Wag kayong magtatanong ng survey na hindi kayo, your survey must be close-ended. Okay? Yung pwedeng sagutin nila, yes, no, may mga choices lang. Para constricted kayo doon. Pwede nyong i-analyze. Let's say, for example, yung choices mo is 0 to 5 liters, 5 to 10 liters, 10 to 15 liters. So, mag-check lang sila doon. Ngayon, pag descriptive survey method, ang gagawin mo lang is kukunin mo lang yung statistics nun. Let's say, for example, 300 yung sinurvey mo. Pag sinabi natin na descriptive survey method, bibilangin mo lang yung kung ilan yung 0 to 5 doon. So, kung nabilang mo 5, i-describe mo lang 5 yung gumagamit ng ganito na liters of water. Yun yung descriptive survey method. Okay? Or like, for example, nag-survey ka, tinanong mo kung ilan yung babae sa lalaki, that is a descriptive survey method. Okay? Next is you have your analytical survey method. Most likely, this is pag nag-a-analyze tayo. Okay? So, pag nag-a-analyze ka, let's say for example, nag-descriptive survey ka, tapos from the data, in-analyze mo yon, ibig sabihin, yung gagamitin mo naman na method is yung pinakalas. Kaya may combined dyan. Analytical and descriptive. Okay? So, since engineering tayo, wala naman yung hindi tayo nag-a-analyze, most likely, analytical is always part of our research design methodology. So, next is yung experimental. Ito yung mga ginagawa natin sa laboratory, yung mga CMT, nag-test tayo, etc. etc. Okay? So, in engineering, hindi ka naman gumagamit ng isang research design lang. Most is a combination of two. So, pwedeng analytical and descriptive. Analytical kasi, descriptive kasi, i-discuss mo lang doon. Hindi ito kailangan 2 pages or 3 pages. This can be half page lang or 3/4 ng page. Basta sabihin mo lang kung ano yung descriptive part. Like for example, my study is descriptive in such a way na kumuha ako ng survey, tapos from there, dinescribe ko yung data. And analytical in such a way na from the data taken, nag-analyze kami para makuha yung percent consumption of water ng nasa community. So parang ganun lang. Okay? Gusto ko lang gawing malinaw dito that your quantitative and qualitative survey method is a way to describe your data. That is not a research design, ha? Kasi yun yung tinuturo sa English 4 eh. And marami sa mga students ang ginagawa nila, the study is a quantitative study. Hindi. You have these types of study, yung quantitative and qualitative, basically, naka-incorporate na sila dito. Your quantitative and qualitative, that is how you are going to acquire your data. Okay? Wala sila dito dapat sa research design and methodology. So, next. I hope okay tayo. Okay, so next is your population and locale of the study. So, eto, for your population and locale of the study, magbibigay ka lang, i-describe mo lang yung study area mo. Like for example, yung mga population, demographics, ilan yung mga main na trabaho ng mga tao. Yung ito, describe the respondents of your profile. Madali lang ito if you're considering a city, municipality, barangay, since pwede mo naman itong i-google using your PSA or pwedeng kunin mo sa internet. I do not recommend na pupunta kayo sa office mismo tas kukunin mo yung data. Makukuha mo na kaagad ito using the internet. Just make sure na yung kinuha mo na population is ilagay mo yung year. Okay? Kung hindi man updated yung kinuha mo na population, kung yung nandun na population is 2015 pa, para safe ka, ilagay mo yung population was taken pa rin year 2015. Okay? So, lahat, yung mga demographics, ilang area, square meters yung area mo, etc. etc. Kapag yung study mo is yung nagdi-descriptive study ka, like, for example, nagsasurvey ka para sa PCWC, kailangan mong mag-present ng computation mo kung paano mo kinuha kung ilan yung isa-survey mo. Okay? Like for example, yung city yung gusto mong i-analyze. And then, hindi mo naman masasurvey yung buong city. Ang gagawin mo is kukuha ka ng sample that will represent yung mga tao sa city. So, mangyayari is kailangan mong i-present dito sa population locale of the study yung computation mo kung paano mo na-solve yung number na kukunin mo ng data. Okay? Like for example, your studies area is in Nueva Ecija. Yung population sa Nueva Ecija ay sabihin na natin 200,000. Hindi mo naman kayang i-survey yun lahat. So, ang gagawin mo is kukuha ka lang ng sample size. So, mayroon tayong different types of determining your sample size. Nasa statistics nyo naman yan. Kunin mo lang yon, isolve mo. Kung ang lumabas dun is 30, ibig sabihin, 30 lang yung isa-survey mo. Okay? Pero, you must have to make sure that you put your solution dito sa population locale of the study. Okay? Lalong-lalo na yung mga study na kailangan mong mag-survey or kumuha ng data by yung nag-i-interview ka ba, parang ganun. Okay? Let's say for example, yung data mo is kinuha mo lang kay Kapitan, wala or questionnaire, tas sinabi ni Kapitan na nag-flood dito, tapos sinabi mo naman doon na nag-flood according to Kapitan, ganun. Hindi yun considered as a valid data. Kapag nag-interview ka, meron ka dapat interview questionnaire sa appendix or sa appendices mo, tapos dapat nakalagay doon yung interview mo with the Kapitan. Kasi marami yung mga nag-i-study tapos nilalagay nila sa background of the study nila, according to the barangay captain, nag-flood daw dito. According to this one, hindi, that is not a valid data if you are conducting your thesis. Also, yung mga according to na term sa background of the study, that is not acceptable when you are doing your thesis. You have to use your proper quotation, which is your APA format, tinuro yan sa English 4. Okay? Like for example, i-quote mo yung sinabi ni Engineer Lamsis. Ilalagay mo dun sa background mo. You do not state there na according to Engineer Lamsis, walang ganun na term sa thesis. Sabihin mo yung sinabi ni Engineer Lamsis, tapos close open parenthesis, lagay mo yung pangalan, tapos yung year, kung kailan yan yung sinabi yun. Lalong-lalo na yung mga kumukuha ng data sa mga websites, dami-daming nakalagay na according to. Kapag may nakita ako na according to sa background of the study, automatic mag-uulit ka ng thesis 1, no? Okay, paki-note lang So, yan yung population and locale of the study. Ito, hindi to mahirap since you are just going to get this one sa internet. Okay, you do not need to go out to get this one. So, next is your data gathering tool. So, for your data gathering tool, ilagay mo lahat ng mga ginamit mo to get your data. Kung questionnaire nga ba, observation, then i-describe mo lang. Like for example, gumamit ka ng weighing scale. Ilagay mo doon, maglagay ka ng picture. Weighing scale. Tapos, describe mo. Gumamit ka ng universal testing machine. Lagay mo yung picture, describe mo lang. Ganun lang ito, okay? So, these are the tools that I use to gather my data. Then, i-present mo lahat doon. Okay? Kahit yung mga simple things ilagay nyo for transparency. Baka tanungin nila, paano mo nakuha itong data na ito? Wala naman sa data gathering tool mo yung pagkuha. Like, for example, nilalagay nyo yung mga GPS nila. Hindi nyo naman kinuha yung GPS tool nila. Hindi nyo nilagay yung GPS tool dito. Okay? So, kung kailangan nyo ilagay yung reliability, ilagay nyo. Pero, I think, wala naman experimental sa study natin. So, walang naglalagay ng kung kailan last na na-calibrate yung UTM natin. Parang ganun. Okay? So, yun lang yung reliability na yan. So, next is, madali lang yung first. Describe mo lang, population local, madali lang. Data gathering tool, kung alam mo yung gagawin mo, hindi naman yan problema. So, next is your data gathering procedure. So, for your data gathering procedure, this is actually a figure ng flow ng study mo. So maglagay ka lang dyan ng picture ng flow ng study mo. Ito yung procedure ng study ko. Like for example, nag-site inspection ako. Afterwards, kumuha ako ng letter. Afterwards, uh, na-approve yung letter ko. So kinuha ko itong data na ito. Afterwards, yung data na yon i-analyze ko using this software. Afterwards, in-analyze ko using this software para makuha ko yung objective 1. Tapos this software para makuha ko yung objective 2. Ganun lang itong data gathering procedure. Okay, discuss nyo lang yung procedure, pero you have to present a figure showing yung procedure na gagawin nyo. Okay? So, also, please do not forget na yung thesis 1 is proposal pa lang. So, ibig sabihin, future tense lahat yung mga sentences nyo. Kasi nagpro-propose pa lang kayo kung anong gagawin nyo. Marami sa inyo, naka-past tense na, parang tapos na yung study. Okay? So, yun lang yung data gathering procedure. Importante is maglagay lang kayo ng figure showing yung flow ng study mo. So, like for example, parang per CPM ba? Ito yung first na gagawin, then arrow, next na gagawin, arrow, next na gagawin. Yun lang ito. Okay? Data gathering procedure. Afterwards, you have your treatment of data. So, I'm sorry. So, for your treatment of data, how are you going to interpret your data? Yun lang naman. Ano yung analysis na gagawin mo? How are you going to describe yung nakuha mo na data? Okay, like for example, gumawa ka ng descriptive analysis, pero ang ginawa mo is kumuha ka ng survey, di ba? So, one of the treatment of data is yung mga 18 years old and below, hindi ko na kinonsider kasi from my data, ang kinuha ko lang is yung mga 18 and above para they can think for themselves. Parang ganun ba? Also, let's say for example, may mga questionnaire na hindi nasagutan lahat. So, pwede mong i-mention dito sa treatment of data na 500 yung questionnaire ko pero 300 lang yung nasagutan, so diniscard ko yung 200. Kung analysis yung ginawa mo sa study mo, sa data mo, yun yung ilagay mo dito sa treatment of data. How are you going to treat your data? Basically, kasi yung data na nakukuha natin is raw yan. So, paano mo maaayos yung data in such a way na magagamit mo siya sa actual? So, ganun lang itong treatment of data. Meron kang t-test, p-test, ANOVA. This is basically mga descriptive statistic tests for your data. Wait lang for a while. Okay, so sorry. Saan na tayo? Treatment of data. So ito pa rin. How are you going to scale your data? Wala naman tayong experimental study. And then, last is this one. I'm sorry. Ito siya. So after nyan, matatapos din na yung thesis 1 natin. So kung mapapansin nyo, yung pinakamahirap talaga sa thesis 1 is yung chapter 1. Ano yung problem? How are you going to formulate your objectives? Okay? So yung mga hindi nagsasubmit ng mga objectives, like for example, 3 lang, 5 naman yung require ko. I'm sorry, you have to add yung mga objectives nyo. Okay? So for some, eto, paki-note na lang. Ilalagay ko naman sa modules natin. Font size is 12. Career new tayo. Ito yung format ng school. Kapag may headings kayo, you have your side headings, etc. And then, kapag meron kayong figure, ito siya. Your figure number is at the bottom of the figure. Also, kapag 3 yung figure mo, make sure na papareho yung distance ng figure caption mo dun sa picture sa lahat ng figures. Okay? Pag, let's say for example, pag nagdi-discuss kayo, let's say for example, ito yung picture, di ba? Tapos gusto kong i-discuss itong picture na ito, magne-next page na, ilagay mo sa next page yung figure. Huwag kayong magdi-discuss ng figure na wala sa same page yung figure. Okay? Pag mahaba yung discussion mo, okay lang, basta malagay mo muna yung introduction ng figure mo sa same page na yun. Okay? So ulitin ko lang do not discuss a figure if the figure is located at the next page or sa previous page. Your discussion of the figure and the figure itself must be located on the same page. Kung kailangan mong ilagay yung dalawa sa next page, di gawin mo. Okay? So next is for our table number. So kapag yung figure is nasa baba, yung table naman is nasa taas. Di ba naglalagay kayo ng mga population, mga ganyan-ganyan. Barangay 1, Barangay 2, ito yung population niya. Yung table number is nasa taas. Okay? Also, yung paging natin is nasa top right. Then, pakilagay na lang doon chapter 1 or problem. Kung ano yung nandun, then yung page niya sa baba. So, ganun lang yung sa thesis 1 natin. Hindi naman siya mahirap. Yung mahirap lang talaga is how are you going to formulate the problem. Let me just iterate na may mga kasi nagsasubmit lang ng title only or incomplete yung mga sinasubmit nila. Okay? So, or yung mga iba, wala talagang sinasubmit. So, pag wala ka talagang sinasubmit, especially on activity number 2, tapos bibigyan kita, wala akong choice but to give you an incomplete score kasi yun naman talaga yung patakaran natin. Do not expect na I will give you the next semester to finish. Yung iba, ginagawa nila ngayon, ikaw gagawin mo pa next sem, di sobrang unfair yun, di ba? So, mangyayari is, make sure to enroll the same subject again. Okay? Di kita pagko-completionin. So, yung mga iba naman is incomplete yung mga sinasubmit nila. Please make sure that yung mga iba is incomplete yung sinasubmit nila. Please make sure na sa final submission is kompleto lahat. Okay? So, yun lang yung thesis 1 natin. Pag na-comply nyo lahat ng mga requirements, siyempre, okay na kayo. Pag natapos nyo na yung chapter 1, wag nyo nang hintayin na sasabihin ko na ito yung next na gagawin nyo. Siyempre, gawin nyo na yung chapter 2. Matagal ko talagang ibigay yung chapter 2 kasi yung chapter 1 talaga yung mahirap. It's not the second chapter. Madali lang yung chapter 2. Kasi if you know what the problem is, alam mo kung ano yung gagawin, hindi na mahirap itong methodology part na ito. Okay? So, question? So, any questions? Okay, type na lang pag hindi nyo ako naririnig. Okay, so kung ma-open nyo yung modules nyo or yung sinubmit nyo sa akin na uh, activity 2, may mga comments doon. If you have questions regarding the comments, I am open for the next 30 minutes siguro. Pag wala na, then okay na tayo ngayon. I will just upload itong PowerPoint na ito. So, pakitignan na lang kung ano yung question nyo with respect sa comments natin. Pag wala, okay lang, you start doing now. Pag meron, please pakitanong ako para maiklaro natin. Okay? So, if I will go back again, dun sa chapter 1 natin, ito yung requirement natin for Wednesday, background, conceptual and theoretical, yung first na tatlo. Kasi tapos naman na yan dun sa sinubmit nyo na activity 2. Ang gagawin nyo na lang is aayusin nyo siya in such a way na malalagay nyo siya sa format. So, with that, thank you for listening. Hintayin ko na lang siguro kung may questions. Then, you can ask about your own study kung may comment doon na hindi nyo maintindihan. So, yun. I think yung semester natin is hanggang December 5 only, which is talagang 2 weeks before deadline ko talaga binibigay yung chapter 2. So, doon sa format pala, wala lahat ito. Wala doon operational definition of terms, wala doon review of related literature. Ang gawin nyo is ilagay nyo na lang. Okay, kasi yung format is old format pa yun ng school. Yung binigay lang na ito yung bagong format, pero hindi inayos yung sa Word file ng school. So, okay na? Ano yung tinatype ni Miss Salvatera? Ano yun? Ay sir, nasabi niyo sa comment na nagawa na po yung study ko ito. Hindi, kapag yung study mo is nagawa na, make sure na mayroong uniqueness yung study mo. Like for example, yung study, sinusolve lang nila yung resultant using yung resultant equilibrium equation. Pwede mo naman masolve yun using different equations. Or pwede mong dagdagan yung study mo in such a way na maiiba siya sa ibang studies. Sayang naman pag magpapalit ka. So, gawin mo na lang is pag may nabasa ka na isang literature, tapos may isang literature, baka pwedeng i-combine mo yung dalawang literature para maiba naman yung study. Kasi pag paulit-ulit lang, wala namang nagagawa, walang nangyayari. Okay, so thank you. Sige lang, paki-question na lang pag may tanong. Mr. Diego, paki-evaluate na lang yung title with respect sa literature na nabasa mo. Kasi I don't really think yung mga objectives are fit for the title. Wala ka na atang maisip kaya nilagay mo lang yung RFID, but you still need to add your questions. Yung mga nagkuha ng traffic, like for example, gawin yung synchronized yung question nyo. Kung ano yung pinaka-first na madaling isolve, yun yung first na question dapat. Yung iba kasi is, pag ito yung title ko, to solve congestion, yung first na question kaagad is, ano yung pwede kong ilagay na to solve congestion? Tapos dun sa last is, ano yung mga sasakyan na nandun? Yung pinaka-first naman na kailangan mo is, ano yung mga sasakyan? Gawin nyo namang maayos yung question. Habang nagsusolve kayo, nasusolve yung pinakamahirap na question. Okay? So, kagaya ng mga flooding, I think yung pinaka-first na question nyo is, saan yung na-flood? Hindi ba kailangan nyo muna i-assess kung ano yung mga nagko-contribute sa flooding? So, ano yung contributory area? Or kung ang nag-flood is yung river, ano yung discharge ng river? Mga ganun ba na question? You go towards your end result. Okay, sir. So, not researchable. Not researchable talaga yung topic mo, Mr. Evangelista. Paki-evaluate na lang. Sige. Pag sinabi ko na how will you quantify yung data, kasi yung question mo ata is, ano yung mga basura na nandun? Parang ganun. Paano mo i-quantify? Paano mo sasabihin na 10 kilos, 20 kilos, or color green, color red? Yung mga question mo, I think, is hard to quantify, Ms. Albatera. If I remember correctly, Okay? So, paano mo ma-analyze yun, di ba? Kung hindi mo naman ma-measure. Parang ganun yung, pag sinabi ko na how will you quantify yung data, paano mo ma-measure kung hindi mo talaga ma-measure? Ay, paano mo masosolve kung hindi mo ma-measure? Parang ganun ba? Marami ata akong ganun na comment. So, pakitignan, please. I think maganda yung topic ni Mr. Lamin, kaya lang the area is already congested. Parang idealistic talaga yung study. Maganda yung study, pero sayang naman kung hindi siya magawa na maayos. Parang yung end result lang is not feasible yung study. Sa tingin ko lang Mr. Lamin, kasi nagawa na namin yan Pero if you can, I think that is based dun sa bus parking nila sa Bogota, Colombia, which is good. Pero yung problem is congested na talaga yung study area. You're going to put elevated parking. It's hard to collect data sa area and flooding is not frequent po. Pwede naman piliin yung flooding location kahit nasa bag. Pwede naman. Huwag kayo kasi mag-i-study. Like for example, yung isang babae, si Pisando. Maganda yung study niya, but the study area is not being flooded. Okay? Mahirap actually yung study ni Pisando kasi dalawang field yun transport at saka flooding yun In La Trinidad, ang na-flood lang naman talaga is the Strawberry area. So, actually, that is, sir, paano i-relate po yung structure? Parang sinusolve mo na rin lang yung study without doing the study, Mr. Lamin. Try to analyze muna or try to read literatures muna before I can comment. Kasi pag sinasabi ko, parang sinusolve na natin yung study. Oh, ang daming nagtatype. Ayun, sir, pwedeng palitan nyo. Pwede naman, pwede. Kasi maganda nga yung study. Kaya lang, yun nga, the area is not being flooded. So, yun. Si Bumalo, I think hindi mo na kailangan mag-type kasi alam mo na yung ibig kong sabihin. Okay naman yung study, Miss Bumalo. So far, kaya ng isang tao yan. Pwede namang i-revise yung questions, pwede nyong i-revise. Lahat yan is pwede nyong improvein. Kasi nga, kailangang i-improve nyo as papunta kayo sa thesis 2. So, as much as possible, dapat na-improve yan. Pero kung ang ginagawa nyo lang is hinahayaan nyo lang siya na ganun, di sayang naman. Yung mga questions, maraming questions ang hindi researchable, pwede nyo siyang i-revise para maging researchable siya. Okay? So, depende lang kung paano nyo gawin yung question, paano nyo i-revise, etc. etc. ELEP, si ELEP lang ata yung maganda yung study dito. I mean, for me, it is the only study na acceptable. Kaya lang ang lawak ng study area. Ang lawak ng gusto mong gawin. So, siguro, isipin nyo, one trimester lang kayo. So, kaya ba yan ng one trimester? Huwag nyo nang sabihin na may incomplete pa naman. Wag. Dapat matapos nyo siya in one trimester para matapos na kaagad. I think it's not just the study area. I think your study is better than most of Miss Elepa. I think your study is better than most of the study ng mga nagmamasters pa nga sa UC. Make sure na alam mo yung process na gagawin mo. Kasi I think you're going to need softwares para dyan eh. Sayang naman kung nasa thesis 2 ka na, hindi mo pala alam kung ano yung software. Sayang. Okay? So, last 2 minutes, then let's call it a day siguro. Yung mga walang question, you can just, yung mga iba na hindi ko na komentan kasi sinend nyo sa inbox ko, hindi ko pa siguro nahahanap kasi natabunan ng mga ibang queries ng mga student. Pero hinahanap ko naman, do not worry. Chine-check ko yon. Yung mga iba lang, hindi ko nasasend sa yung comment. Sige, thank you. Okay na? Okay? So, pag wala na, then good luck. Yung submission natin sa Wednesday, do not forget. Background, conceptual, and statement of the problem. Then, let's discuss it by Saturday ulit kung ano yung gagawin natin na next. Please, dun sa sinend ko na format, i-download nyo yun, tapos mag-type na kayo dun. Huwag nyo nang ikokopya pa. Yun na yung format, so encode na kayo kagad dun kung ano yung gagawin nyo. Sir, saan po isa-submit yung mga bago na... yung mga bago na pag may changes kayo, ilagay nyo lang dun sa isa-submit sa Wednesday, yung mga changes. Kasi pag nag-change kayo ng objective, nandun pa rin naman. Okay? So, don't worry. Okay na? So, sige, thank you. Pag may mga queries pa, pwede nyong i-email yung email ko dito. Like for example, may question kayo sa comment, pwede nyong email. Pero wag naman yung mga simpleng-simple. Try to read muna yung RRL nyo para hindi sayang. Okay, so pag wala na, then thank you. Ingat na lang lahat. Then let's call it a day.